Okay, so today what we're looking at is matrix multiplication. How it's different to scalar multiplication is matrix multiplication is when we have a matrix and we're multiplying it by another matrix, okay? So yesterday when we had scalar, it was just one number outside being multiplied with the matrix. So here, like if we're just setting up a scenario to show you. So they said the selling prices of books and puzzles are shown below in matrix P. So you can see here. And then they said what type of, how many books and puzzles each of these people have. So we want to make a matrix S that shows the total sales made by each person. So this was at a shop, obviously. So what I want to do essentially is I want to times this 7 books for Fatima by the 20 because books cost 20. And I want to times the 4 puzzles by 30. And then I want to add them together. Is that true? That's what I'd want to do if I was trying to find out how much sales they made. So you can see that here, the 4 times 20 and the 4 times 30 is there. And that would be the total sales that Fatima makes. And then I would do the same for if I was doing Gaia. And there it is down there. So what you would notice is we have to learn it manually for small matrices. So when we have say a 2 by 2, or they will make you need to know. And then you say, well, right, well, I get my calculator. So how are they going to test? They do test. They ask you to show how it's calculated. So sort of like what's going on here. So you must know the theory behind how it works. Okay, so if you have a look here, so we've got these 2 matrices. So you can see here what happened is we took this row and we multiplied it with the column in that second matrix. Okay, so what we often say when we're doing manual multiplication, we generally say we run across and then we dive down the column. Okay, so one way to look at it, so you'll see this run and dive. So this is how they do multiplication. So when we do multiplication, we're going to get a few rules have to happen first. So if we just had a little look at so this was the original matrix. This had like Fatima and Gaia's list of books and puzzles. So if you look at this one was a 2 by 2. Is that correct? And then this one was a 2 by 1. So when we did it all and the way they worked it out, you ended up with this matrix down here, which is actually a 2 by 1. So what you can see is when you times matrices together, they can produce a different size matrix, okay? Now, also, not every matrix can be multiplied with each other. So there's a set of rules, and that's what we're going to go through here. So what they say, the first rule is that the number of columns in the first matrix. So I'll put an example up the top so you can see, and we can use that, the one that we had up top. So say if we had the one up top, we said that first matrix was a 2 by 2, wasn't it? Yeah. And then it got multiplied with a 2 by 1. Okay. So what we're saying, if you're going to be able to multiply 2 matrices together, the columns in the first matrix must be the same as the rows in the second. So those 2 inner numbers there must be the same number. And that's what that rule is saying. Now, the next thing down below, the next rule is, so once you can multiply them, so this is just our example. So, yep, we can multiply them. So we've found out that these 2 are equal. So when we say that they're the same, we often use the word defined. We say it's defined. So once we say they're defined, yep, we're going to go and multiply. And what we say, the order of our answer. So in the end, when we multiplied, we ended up with that new matrix, which was a 2 by 1. And the way we find the order of the answer is it takes the rows of the first one and the columns of the second. So if you look here, that's why it took the rows of the first one and the columns of the second. And that's why our answer ended up being a 2 by 1. So often with manual multiplication, it's very important, find out what your answer is going to look like, because then it makes the showing the calculations of how you do it a bit easier. All right, so let's go. Okay, so let's have a look at this little example. We've got matrix A here and matrix B. So if you look, what's the order of matrix A here? It's got 2 rows, 2 by 2. And what's the order of matrix B? A 2 by 3. Good. So if we go through it, it says yep. Oh, yeah. Sorry.